What if you didn't just die, but disappeared completely? Not remembered, not even a name left behind, no stories told, no traces found, only silence where you once were. When your last photo fades, what's left of you? We all know, at least in theory, that we're going to die. We don't like to think about it, but it's always there, the quiet shadow, pacing a few steps behind us. And yet, death itself isn't always the fear that keeps us awake at night. Sometimes the sharper fear is this, that after we're gone, no one will remember we were ever here. For Martin Heidegger, one of the most influential and most debated philosophers of the 20th century, death was not just the final scene of life, it was the horizon, a boundary we cannot cross while living, but which shapes the entire landscape of our existence. He called us beings towards death, not to crush our spirits, but to remind us that every choice we make is cast against the light of our own finitude. Most of us live as though death doesn't exist. We bury it under noise. We fill our calendars with meetings, our homes with devices, our minds with an endless scroll of content, anything to avoid the stillness in which mortality might speak to us. And today, this avoidance has a name: social media. Every post, every upload, it's more than just sharing. It's a signal flare, a way of saying, "Don't forget me." We call it connection. But underneath, there's often a quiet defiance, a refusal to accept the void. But here's the paradox. The self we present online is rarely the self we live with. It's curated, polished, cropped and filtered until the messy, unrepeatable textures of real life are gone. And in trying to preserve ourselves, we risk ERA, seeing the very things that made us, us. Heidegger had a name for this, the they. Not a single person, but the faceless crowd that tells us what to value, what to share, what to remember. We start living according to their script, chasing their approval, and slowly, without even noticing, we stop hearing our own voice. Heidegger called this moment the call of conscience. It doesn't shout, it doesn't flatter. It simply asks, are you living as your own most self or as someone else's echo? It calls us to face our mortality directly, not to give up, but to strip away the noise until only what matters remains. In these unshared moments, we find the ground under our feet again. We remember, not as data in a feed, but as breathing, feeling, beings. This, for Heidegger, was authenticity, not a hashtag, not a performance, but the courage to live a life fully your own, even if it vanishes without a trace. Maybe the point isn't to be remembered. Maybe the point is to live so fully that forgetting doesn't matter. To be here, truly here, in the only moment we ever have, this one. Being towards death is not about dying. It's about finally being alive.